I want to share something with you that's pretty personal. I was going through my journal entries, or my what I call field reports, and I came across one of the earliest ones that I'd ever written digitally. This was a few months after my divorce, and it really just illustrates some of the mindsets I was having, the insecurities I was still dealing with, and I thought maybe it'd be helpful for you guys. I know some of you are fresh out of a divorce, fresh out of a relationship, and you might be struggling with some of these same insecurities. So I thought I would just illustrate what I was going through. Maybe it'll help you guys. What we're going to look at is from April 2018. This was 8 months after my wife had told me she was leaving me. So she decided to leave me August 2017. And in the state of Wisconsin, you have to be legally separated for 6 months. So technically, we could not divorce until February. So this is a few months after the divorce. Prior to that, I'll show you kind of what my journey looked like here. So I moved to Boston on December 29th, 2017. This was about 3 months after my wife had left. She had been with her new boyfriend this whole time. I was in our old house, or our house, by myself, just sitting alone, really doing nothing. I would go out to social events on to like trivia or like volleyball, and I would meet new friends. I was practicing my social skills, but I kind of realized early on that this was not going to be this was not going to work for me. I wanted to meet attractive women. I wanted to improve myself, and being in small town Wisconsin was just not going to get me to where I wanted to go. So I sold the house, I gave her her share, and then I moved to Boston in December 2017. As you can see, this is just a little timeline of where these are some of the photos I had. You can see that I was not taking good photos. I didn't know. I was just taking selfies and didn't know what I was doing. So this is just the evolution of where I was. But yeah, January 10th, I'm just taking a random selfie with a weird hat. Um, the reason I put some of these on here though was like January 13th. This was just a random guy I met at the Patriots game. We were just having fun talking to each other, and we just took a photo together. And it's not something that I ever would have done when I was married, because I was always so socially anxious. I didn't know really how to talk to people. I assume most people didn't really like me, so I didn't really talk to I didn't talk to strangers. If I was comfortable with you, no problem, I would talk to you. I was pretty playful, but then the evolution, like I had this hat and these sunglasses, and I was starting to become more outgoing. February 9th, I put that there because if you're familiar with Mr. Show or SpongeBob, this is Tom Kenny. He's the voice actor for SpongeBob. I met him randomly out in Boston, so I wanted to show that. But you can just see, like, I was just bad at taking photos. But March, starting in March, I started to go out more consistently. I started to work on my social skills, and I was meeting new people. I was being friendly. I was taking selfies, and I kind of honestly miss how social I was. But a lot of this was because of alcohol. Like I was always drinking, which loosened me up. So I was never really confronting my anxiety or probably even learning the right social skills. I was just coping and getting by. I mean, it was fun, and I felt like I was improving. I was being more social. I was making new friends, but they weren't long lasting relationships. Most of these people you just meet for that night, and then I would just wander off because I was drinking. My attention span was just out of control, so I would just end up walking around talking to people, which was kind of my mission. I just wanted to be more social. So yeah, so they're just dumb photo. Like you can just see, like I am kind of a big dork. Not really progressing much. The green juice one I put on there because up until 3/14/2018, I probably never ate any green vegetables, maybe like sweet peas or something. So like this was literally the first time I drank something that was healthy, that wasn't soda or just water or milk. It was, I mean, it's not a huge step, but it did start leading me towards taking vitamins. It did start leading me towards, eventually eating eggs, like eventually just small little steps improving. And I mean, it doesn't sound like much, but I was actually pretty proud that I tried something new. I was never big into trying new foods. So that was a big step. So up until, through March, I'm just practicing my social skills, getting pictures with girls, having fun at night, but still very drunk. 319, you can just kind of see like I'm still pretty heavy. I'm not really taking great care of myself. I don't have my hairlines dissipating. But, I'm still improving. I'm still trying to get better. I'm not having a lot of success with women at this time. Like I'm being more social. I'm feeling, excuse me, I'm feeling better about myself. But, it's just a work in progress. So it seems like I'm having a lot of fun in these pictures. Like, oh, I don't have social anxiety. I'm just taking tons of photos with people. And a lot of it was because of drinking, like I said. So this leads up to, so I just wanted to illustrate this to lead up to the field report, which takes place, I think, April 15th. So it looks like I'm having fun. It looks like I'm being very social. Looks like I'm very free. But then when I read the field report, I see just how insecure that I still am. Um, I went to a rock climbing place with my buddy in Boston at the time, and this is 4/15/2018. So was that 7 years ago? Yeah, and I was just I was very intrigued about how he was able to make jokes with the people who were working there. I said it was good learning experience to see how you can introduce jokes on the first encounter without just asking boring questions. I used to always ask people like, "Hey, how's your day?" or "What's going on?" Like just very generic question, not giving them anything to really talk about. So I mean, I thought that was interesting, so I took from that, and then I'm sitting here telling myself that I'm having difficulty socializing without alcohol, and I really want to work on that. And then I talk about how I eventually loosened up, and then I made a joke, and then I started offering high fives to people. This is something that I used to do pretty consistently. Like if you offer somebody a high five, most of the times they will respond positively. People love a good high five. It's something I'm going to start bringing back, I think. But yeah, I could just see like 4/15/2018. I'm talking about how I want to be able to socialize without alcohol. This becomes a recurring theme throughout my life. If this stuff is helpful for you guys, I'll make more videos of different field entries of where I was at different points in my life. But I know this theme comes up a lot that I want to be social without drinking. I end up talking myself into drinking. It's really it's really easy for me to assume that I think I get into this later that people only like me if I'm drinking. So that's one thing that I've been dealing with. I mean, I guess forever. I didn't really have to deal with it when I was married because I already had the girl I was with, so I didn't have to try to like impress anybody. But so that's gonna be a recurring theme. It's something I've been working on. I've been, haven't wanted to drink for the last, I don't know, 6 months now. So, and I've had success going out without drinking. So it's just interesting how you can talk yourself into things that you know is not good for you. But yeah, so overall, I was offering high fives. I felt pretty friendly. I got to work on my voice. I was very monotoned, very high pitched, maybe like not speaking down. Probably still an issue. I probably still a little monotone. But then we talk about going out that night. Again, I felt stifled in my head before we went out. When I was in there, I was doing a couple high fives and complimenting people on their shirts. This was one thing that I was doing pretty early on. It made me more social. It made me just get out of my head a little bit. So if that's something that, if you're looking to meet new people, you just get divorced or you just got out of a relationship and you want to meet new people, your options are, I mean, if you're 30, like I was 30, 35 at the time here. So my options are a little limited. I don't have a social circle. I can't just go hang out with friends and then hope new girls show up and then I meet them. At the time, I didn't have an online dating profile. I was kind of overweight. So what I was doing was going out and socializing, building my social skills. And one of the best ways I found to really get out of my head to start interactions was to get quick compliments, high fives. So yeah, this is something you might want to try. That's what worked for me. Um, a lot of these were without alcohol, so that's what was getting me out of my head. If I had alcohol, it would have been no problem just to walk up to somebody and start talking to them. But if you want to do this sober, which is going to be the best thing for you, that way you push yourself, you're learning, you're not just getting results and then kind of forgetting about it or forgetting like what you were doing. But that's up to you, I guess. Yeah, talk about here that I'm waiting for people to approach me because I had those sunglasses, which you might have seen in some of my videos. I assume that if I wore that stuff, people would just come compliment me, which is kind of the reason why I wore them out so much, is people would compliment me on them, and then that's how I would talk to them. But it's not the best way to do it because then I'm not talking to the people that I'm attracted to. The thing I was needing to work on was being able to talk to people and show my intention. Yeah, and then, you know, doing high fives boosted my mood a little bit, I say here. And then we end up going to another venue, and one of the things I learned early on was that people respond to just you being yourself, having fun. So sometimes I would just go dance by myself and have fun to the music, and sometimes girls will start dancing closer to you, and then you can talk to them. So that was kind of the thing here. But this night in particular, I kept thinking that the girls didn't want to be approached, that they wouldn't give me a chance. I say right here, wouldn't give me a chance. So I'm already in my head telling myself things that are, I mean, who knows if they're true. I'm not even giving myself a chance here. Like, I'm immediately shutting myself down from even talking to them, which was a very common theme after. I mean, that's probably why I got divorced, or not divorced. It's probably why I got married in the first place, was that she was one of the only girls that really showed me attention. She said she loved me, and so I clung to that because I did not want to have to get rejected by other people. I didn't want to have to go through this uncomfortableness, this rejection. So I think that kind of, I mean, this is obviously wasn't resolved when I got divorced. Like, this is still brand new to me. I'm still going out trying to meet people. So in my head, I'm saying that, they wouldn't give me a chance. I'm already shutting myself down. We have a little bit more time. Tell my friend, he's on the dance floor, some things he might be able to do. And then I talk about how we were going to create a checklist of things that we could do at night that wasn't results based. So, it's hard to say your goal is to get a girl's phone number or, meet a new person. Like, you don't really have control of that, but you can control your actions. So we were going to create a checklist of what we can do. So high five 5 people, compliment 3 people, tell one girl she was very cute. That's the steps I was taking. That was the progression I was working with, because in my head, I was unworthy. Girls were not going to give me a chance. So I didn't want to just show my intention right away. I wanted to warm myself up. I wanted to just be the fun guy. Like, that's what you see in those photos, is me being the fun guy, which is great, but I also don't necessarily resonate with that. Like, I like to be fun, I like to have fun, but I'm also introverted. I'm also kind of serious sometimes. I'm also, I also don't want to be the dancing monkey guy. So it was kind of inauthentic. A lot of it was because I was drinking, and when I'm drinking, I'm just all over the place. I'm pretty let loose, which might be my default mode. Maybe I just stifle myself too much. But so we'll continue on. Yeah, after we went there, went to breakfast at South Street Diner, where we met the 2 girls. They were strippers at the strip club. This was this was the first strip club I'd been to in Boston, and my buddy at the time was very good at talking to girls. So he got their numbers. We went out with them, got their numbers at the club, and then we met them for breakfast. I think this was either the same day or maybe, no, it must have been a day after. But but yeah, I'm saying it was weird because I was stifled. I didn't know what to say. So I'm around, like, this girl would have been the prettiest girl that I ever would have been with if we ever got together. Like, if she actually liked me. So in my head, I'm already thinking like, she's never gonna like me. This was never gonna work. And so I sat there very quiet, and they thought I was, it says here, very standoffish, and they could see, and I couldn't see where I stood with her. So she was kind of being standoffish, but it was probably because I was worried about what to do to impress her. I wasn't just giving value. I wasn't just trying to be myself. I wasn't being authentic. I was trying to find ways to make her like me. And then when that didn't work and she was kind of standoffish, I would shut down and give up. So they said that, she did like me, but it felt like I didn't like her because I was so in my head. I didn't know what to do. And she said later on that she was playing hard to get, which is makes sense, but it was more because I didn't feel worthy. I mean, they even said here, I was being a show. It never felt like anyone would ever like me, even if they said she did. Like, because she was so pretty, I didn't know anything about her personality. I didn't know where she really came from. I was all focused on what she looked like, and because she was pretty, I was not worthy of her. So yeah, so I was getting in my head that I'm not good enough for people, especially without alcohol. See, this is going to be a common theme. When I drink, I'm a cocky motherfucker, and I need to be that way without the booze. Because I was confident. I would talk to anybody, and that's good. But then I'm also getting to a point where I'm slurring my speech, or I'm just getting too out of control, or I talk to somebody and it goes well, but then I get distracted and go somewhere else. Like, not focus, and then I'm not learning social lessons either. So yeah, so you can see that 2018, shortly after the divorce, like, I'm still having a lot of those unworthiness issues. This girl is too hot for me. She would never like me. And now that I read this, yeah, so I say she deserves someone who is not. I don't feel like I deserve someone who is hot. So I need to continue to practice and read and watch videos. So then I would go home, read, what more can I do? Always trying to chase this. I have to be better. I'm not good enough now. Like, always, this next thing will help me. So as you can see, my mindset was very validation seeking, insecure, not worthy. Thank God this girl didn't didn't respond to me, because I have a feeling if she did, because she was so hot, I would have ignored any red flags she had. Oh, she's a stripper? Nah, that's fine, whatever. I'll deal with it. Because I would have just been like, "Oh, I'm divorced now. This hot girl really likes me. Never had a hot girl like this. Had she liked me, who knows? I might have stopped watching these videos. I might have stopped going out to practice. I would have never worked on my mindset. I probably would have just settled with her and been in the same situation as I was with my ex, where I'm just settling out of scarcity. Like, I know this is probably not going to work. I know there's a lot of red flags, but what am I going to do? You're so hot. You give me that validation. I'm now worthy because people will see me with a hot girl. So yeah, I thought this was very interesting. This is the first one I could find that I wrote digitally. I like to use Evernote because, as you can see on the side panel, I have field reports from 2018, 2019, 2021, all the way up until this year. I'm not as consistent with it as I used to be. But yeah, you can get your goals here for the year, business stuff, field reports, life goals, my story I'm working on. So yeah, I highly recommend Evernote if you're looking to really improve yourself, or just to see where you are. Like, I would have never been able to reflect on this. Like, oh wow, I was dealing with a lot of insecurities back then. Um, and then yeah, it's a good way to get your thoughts out on paper. So just my recommendations. I'll link Evernote in the description if that's something you're interested in. But yeah, what else I like to do then is, I write down what I was going through, what happened during the night, just so I have a good understanding of where I was, what was happening, mindsets, all that. Good to reflect on. And then I wanted to, state things that were positives, because although I had these insecurities, I was doing good things. There were still things to be proud of. There were still wins to be had. This one, went out, got some new reference experiences. Went and did some high fives and compliments. That's a win. That's getting me more social. Did some flirting with the stripper. Like, she was super hot. I was happy just to be around her at the time. This was I don't remember this girl. I was talking to some girl on Tinder. She must not have been. She must have been. I don't know what. I mean, my dating profile back then was terrible, so I don't know how I even matched with this girl. But whatever. Didn't drink alcohol. That was a win. Had fun with my friends. That was a win. Had fun dancing on my own. So just stacking wins. And then, what went well. Yeah, that's kind of the same as wins. I guess I wouldn't do that again. But yeah, what could I be improved? Obey the 3-second rule. So if you see somebody that you're attracted to, you just go up right away and say, hey. Be more social to everyone at the beginning. Be social. You start getting yourself into state. What to work on next time. So I'm trying to prep myself for things I can start thinking about that I want to improve. And then these were like some affirmations I would do to like what makes me a badass. Yeah, just to make sure that, you're giving yourself credit for the things that you're doing. Like, you are special. You do have greatness in you. So figure out what those things are. Write that stuff down. This is not the exact format that I use anymore. I actually did create a free template for you guys. If you want to join the school group, it's in there. I would recommend doing this as consistently as you can. Like, I found it very interesting that I can go back now the last 7 years, and on some random day, I can figure out what I was doing, what my mindsets were, how far I've come from them, some things that I'm still working on. Like, it's interesting to know that, oh yeah, wow, I've said this alcohol thing the last 400 times, yet my mind will still somehow try to trick me. Like, oh, maybe you should just have some drinks, which, now I kind of recognize that pattern and know that trap. So that's where I was on 4/15/2018. I hope that was useful for you guys. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more stuff like this. I'm just trying to test this out. I know you guys, some people wanted to see a little bit more about my story, where I was mindset wise. So if this helps, maybe I'll do this maybe more consistently, maybe once or twice a week. I have plenty of entries I could go through. We can go through it together. We'll see what was happening throughout these years. But yeah, if you're struggling with stuff like that, just know that you're not alone. I was there after my divorce. I mean, these mindsets were very, very limiting, not growth based, still very validation seeking. And had I not continued to push through and to try to grow and to become better, I could easily have seen how I would have got back in that trap. So I don't know if this resonates with you guys. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are, what you want to see. And yeah, if this does help you, definitely let me know. I'll make more of them. Yeah, I think that's it. I got to go to Wisconsin tomorrow for the cleaning business. So I'm going to make a video from my hometown, probably a video about why you should leave your hometown. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Like I said, this template is going to be in the school group, so you can download that and start journaling. It's going to make you, it's not only going to get you to like write out your feelings, what you're feeling that day, but you can also start to set goals. You can start to envision where you want to go, what your life you want to be like. So like, I'm sitting here writing, what can I work on next time? Be more open to people with conversation and not just high fives. Okay, yeah, well, next time I'll give a high five and then start a conversation. Open people directly on the dance floor. So you just kind of give yourself little goals, little things that you want to improve on, so you can start seeing that little future one step at a time. So we'll leave it there. Keep grinding. I'll see you next time.